All right, part 3. No more parts after this. All right, so anyway, so she goes on the hero's journey. She survives. She overcomes the obstacles. She achieves her task. She returns home from her quest with her new, knowledge of herself about, when she goes and she has the conversation with her husband. It causes her to really reflect on what she wants out of life and who she wants to be. So now she finally has a better understanding of herself, and she's ready to live this new life. So you could look up the steps of the hero's journey, and you could compare them to the events that happen in the story, and talk about sort of, what's the so what of that? What are we supposed to learn from the fact that this narrator goes on this journey and kind of has this self-renewal along the way? Okay, so the biggest thing that I can encourage you to do if you are still struggling for an idea is to read. Okay, read, read, read. Just look up one of the approaches that you think sounds interesting. If you're interested in psychology, then psychoanalytic is for you. If you're interested in gender roles, then feminist criticism is for you. Because it's not just because it's feminist doesn't mean it's just about women, right? It can be about men as well, and how they behave. Are they fulfilling their masculine roles, or are they not fulfilling those roles? And it's kind of, what does that mean? And obviously, there are more types of literary criticism in that PowerPoint. I just kind of hit some of the more popular ones that students tend to write about. Remember that you can kind of mix your approaches as well. So you could talk about like a feminist approach, and you could use the psychological to reaffirm that. It's like with the yellow wallpaper. Obviously, one of the issues is that she's oppressed because she's a woman and she doesn't have control over her own life. But then you see that that psychological decline that she undergoes, which granted is a result of postpartum depression. But had she been able to have her own way, like go on an adventure, like she wanted to go visit family away from that house, maybe things would have worked out a little better for her. So anyway, so you don't necessarily have to stick to one, but don't make it so that one page is like, feminist criticism, and the next page is like now Marxist criticism, and then now this kind of criticism. Like they have to work together towards one overall goal. So your overall point needs to be about like the affirmation of gender roles, or or about the effects of oppression, in childhood or something like that. And then you can use the other types of criticism to scaffold your main idea, but your main idea needs to be focused on one type of criticism. Okay, so just kind of looking over my notes. I have a bunch of notes written on my board. Make sure that I talked about all the things that I want to talk about. Okay, so just remember, again, definitely you can use Galileo. I think I have time to talk about that. I do. I have like 2 minutes. All right, so if you go to your homepage on Blackboard and you scroll down to Library Services, and then you click on Galileo, and then when that comes up, then you can just look up your story if you want to. I'm just going to search A Rose for Emily really quickly. And you might find some good stuff that way. All right. And you see that heroine's tragedy. So that's something that you could look at. How is Emily a tragic heroine? That goes into mythology. Anyway, so there's definitely quite a few sources that you can use there. Another approach that you can use for this is that you can come down here and go databases by subject. If you click view all subjects, and then you've got to go over 2 pages until you get to literature and writing. And you can actually go to some specific databases. Academic Search Complete's pretty good. Bloom's is also pretty good. If you click on Bloom's literature, you can just search here a story. I'm going to do A Rose for Emily again, just because that's what I did a minute ago. And then you see here some reference stuff. You see how to write about A Rose for Emily, a lot of good stuff that can help you along the way. Social class in A Rose for Emily, which obviously that goes into Marxism. And then also up here at the top, you see that there is criticism. And you can click that and you can read more examples of literary criticism about that work.